I mean, he's a great leader, man.
I will go ahead and call the meeting to order, and I'm going to ask that Nathan Ritchie, who's the pastor of Trinity Baptist, if he will lead us in prayer. Now I'm going to ask Pee Wee Parsons to lead the pledge of allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this city that we're privileged to live in and for your grace. And we just ask for your continued grace and mercy and peace upon the city of Alma, that you will bless it, that you will bless our endeavors here, and that we would be known as a people that are friendly, that love, and that care for others and help others out. Lord, I pray that you would bless this city council and the mayor, and that as they look to better our city, to go over problems and seek solutions, that you would just give them wisdom in all of that and guide and direct. Pray for our police force and our fire department and our public works. Lord, we just pray for your safety upon them, your blessing upon them and their families as they serve and they minister here in our town. And Lord, we just pray for this meeting tonight, that you would rule over it, that you would guide and direct, and that you would be honored. And we ask this now in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Andrew Kilpatrick. Larry Weissman.
Here.
James McGee.
Here.
Evan Thacker. Damon Brown.
Here.
Gary Perry.
I was trying to cover everybody.
Have before attached to your agenda the March 28, 2024 minutes. You need to get those approved, or if you have any additions or changes.
So moved.
Have a motion to approve the minutes. We have a second. Second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? There's no committee reports and no citizens forum, no unfinished business. Tonight we have the director of the Alma Library.
Citizens Forum? No, I'm here for the
For
library.
the
Citizens Forum earlier.
We have the director of the Alma Library, Ms. Risa, wanted to share with the council tonight.
Just wanted to let you guys know what's been happening at the library. First of all, we're very, very happy with our new doors. If you have come out the library, we now have automatic opening doors. Patrons are very happy, and we appreciate everything the city did to help us get the doors. And the building looks great with the new awnings that the city put up. I just wanted to say a little bit about what we had happening in March. We had our first annual Tiny Art Show for all. We had special storytime programs with Ellen from Delta Dental. Caitlin with the City of Alma came and talked about trees. Derek Hodges, meteorologist with the National Weather Service. And we had an eclipse program with Darcy and Carl from the Central Arkansas Astronomical Society about the eclipse. All the programs had very good attendance. We handed out tiny pies to our patrons for Pie Day. We participated in Manatee Appreciation Day and World Meteorological Day. We also had all of our regular monthly programs, which include Baby and Me Storytime, karaoke, stringed instrument lessons, teen time, art class, read and color lounge, storytime, Dungeons and Dragons, after school crafts, jewelry making, book talk, candle making, homeschool hangout, Lego challenges, and Super Junior Book Brigade, which is a book club for elementary school kids. We're working on our library seed catalog, and we're planning our summer reading right now. So far in April, we are celebrating National Poetry Month. We celebrated National Library Week, National Patron Appreciation Day, National Dandelion Day, National Pet Day, National Grilled Cheese Day, which fell on National Patron Appreciation Day, so everybody got a grilled cheese on that day. For Earth Day, we partnered with Neighborhood Forest, and we have 340 red maple trees to give away. That's just citizens in Alma with kids. It's for children, so they signed up their kids. We got the trees today, so we'll be giving those away for the next few days for the people who signed up for that.
I'm worn out just listening to Luke.
I know. Young Actors Guild came and did a story time last Saturday. They did the Three Little Pigs. Kara, our children's librarian, participated in the Dutch Oven Cook-Off last Saturday. She didn't win this time, but, and so, our door count for March, so that's people that came into the building for whatever reason, 3,548 people came into the doors. Items that were checked out were 2,809. We had 63 programs, which I listed a lot of them. Our March program attendance was 784. And then we had 41 new people sign up for library cards. So that's 41 new people to Alma, really, that signed up for library cards. So I just wanted to come and let you guys know what's happening.
Thank you so much. You and your staff do an outstanding job, and I know, because people have called me and fussed at me because we didn't get the awnings done and the doors done. And
Right.
so I know you, a lot of people support the library, and, but y'all do a great job.
We had a patron who redid our back gates. The privacy fence gates were sticking and starting to fall apart, and so he just volunteered his time and labor and everything and fixed our back gates for us, so.
And I know we still owe you the lettering of Alma Library,
Yes.
and you will get
A sign would be nice, but
Yeah.
we're very happy with what we have so far.
you'll get that. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Who's your helper?
That's my youngest, Beckett. We just had soccer practice.
Okay.
Normally he would not be drugged to meetings.
No, excellent.
I just wanted to come. I don't know if I'll come every month, but I'd like to come every now and then
Sure,
and just let
we'd
you
love
guys
to
know.
have you. I notice I get your calendar, and it is amazing the things y'all have going on down there.
We have something every day for somebody,
Yeah, you look good.
so
That's awesome.
thank
Outstanding.
you for letting me
Good.
speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Y'all have a good meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Parsons?
Fast and very furious, huh? Make it quick.
No, just make it thorough.
Make it thorough. All right, last month, Southwest run 80 calls in the city of Alma. We run 17 altogether. 3 vehicle accidents, 3 car fires, 1 gas leak, 3 EMS calls, 2 smoke investigations, and 5 structure fires. That was probably one of our biggest months that we've had since I've been there. I mean, had a lot going on. Just at the same time, I don't know if y'all knew about that, we had one, we were just finishing up on a kitchen fire. And a blanket got on blanket got on a heater and we fully involved a older structure house here on Locust. The Eclipse went and come by and left, and we did a lot of work around the stations, a lot of traffic, watched traffic on RDOT. There was 2 glitches on the interstate. I think with all the ASP and the highway police and all that, the 2 glitches they did have, I think they helped out a lot, keeping everything rolling. If you looked at the RDOT, how many people, I don't know,
Does anybody have a number?
how many cars, we'll know here in the next month or so, probably RDOT have, but it was packed.
There's a lot of
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean-
and 64.
A lot of us we all stayed around here and watched it and all that, but, that's all we got. We, did not man Tuesday, so we ended up, it was like $8,200 of the 15 of what we,
Good.
asked for. So, next Monday, Tuesday, we'll have, wildland training at Station 1. We'll have about 30 guys there both nights, probably from 5 to 10, 5 to 9:30, something like that.
What kind of training?
Wildland certification that we all have to have. These are new guys that have to have it. And with that, that's about all I have.
Real quick, want to give you kudos. Monday, the Eclipse, about 11 o'clock, I went by the Brady Station. And I thought didn't know what I was gonna see, and guys were out there, the equipment was all pulled out, they were washing, they were scrubbing, you know, cause we gave the time to do that. So, yeah, definitely,
They did a good job.
yeah, they did a good job, yeah, well, I was impressed with what I saw.
Thank you. I
From you
mean,
guys.
they were told that, hey,
I thought they'd be playing PlayStation inside and, you know.
no, you wouldn't have seen what all they did. I think Tuesday they cleaned up.
Yeah,
Hey, we got a lot done.
yeah, yes, it was impressive. It was
Thank
impressive for you.
Good deal. Any questions?
Thank you.
Good job. Chief Pointer?
You're not gonna ask for any money, are you?
Well, I am.
Oh,
But first,
First.
so that the librarian mentioned the Dutch oven cook-off, just so y'all know, I'm the one that won that this year. And I have the wooden spoon proof. First, I'd like to thank Mayor Fincher and Councilman McGee for coming to the Citizens Police Academy graduation. You know, it's great having a program like that and then, you know, holding a graduation and getting support from you guys. So appreciate y'all for attending that. We've started the process of changing animal control over to Cody's office, which I'm very, very excited about. And Officer Inge is too. So we met with Cody and the mayor and Lynn and Brett. And so we're in the process of getting that switched over. The only other thing I have is kind of asking for money, but it's leaving this up to you guys. We have an opportunity to apply for a cops hiring grant, which just opened up. This would be for a 3-year grant to, it's for, it pays, but in case you don't know about the cops hiring grants, it's through the U.S. Department of Justice, the Office of Community Oriented Policing. So it would pay for a hiring a policeman to increase community policing and crime prevention efforts. So as y'all know, we've talked about adding a K-9 to our department, and we believe we're very close to getting that funded. So we plan on adding that at some point in the near future, as long as everything falls together how we think it's going to. If we applied for and received this grant, it would allow us to take the K-9 officer off of working a regular patrol shift and hire someone to fill that, and make the K-9 officer, obviously the crime prevention on the K-9 side, and then also he would be our community policing officer, attending community events. And if y'all don't know, we get a lot of requests to attend community events, not just to be there for safety, but you know, be there to for show and tell and different things like that. Sometimes we have to turn them down just because we don't have the manpower to send someone to all of them. This is like I said, it's a 3-year grant. It would pay for 75% of the officer's entry-level salary and benefits for the first 3 years out of a 5-year period. So that gives you time for hiring and recruiting. The only requirement of it is you have to pay a minimum of 25% each year. And then you have to continue it once the 3 years are up. You have to continue it for a minimum of 12 months after that on your own. There is a waiver where we could try to get the 25% waived and they would pay for 100% of it. I looked through the requirements. I don't think we would meet it, but if you guys gave me permission to apply for this, we would try. But again, I don't think we would meet the requirements for that. So a first-year policeman, salary and benefits is about $65,000. So the grant would pay for almost $49,000 of it. we would be responsible for just over 16,000 of that. And it's pretty close, each year, except for, the third year. And I didn't mention this, but it's a $125,000 max for the 3 years. So we would run out of that in the third year. And so the third year, we would have to pick up about $42,000 of the salary. The grant would cover about $26,000. This would not be something that we would obviously add immediately. I believe the grants, I mean, we would have to apply for it now if we're going to. The close date on it is like the first week of June, but this being a Department of Justice grant, there's a lot of things that we would have to get together, and so it would take us a while to get all that together to apply for it. So I'm just asking you guys if this is something that you're interested in us going for or not. The grants are going to be awarded, or you'll be notified. I believe it's September of this year. So, I mean, it would be plenty of time for budgeting for next year. And we probably, obviously, we haven't budgeted for it this year, so it would actually probably be adding it to next year's budget, our part of it. So I am kind of asking for money, but I'm leaving that up to you guys. I mean, if you say, no, this is not anything we want to look at, then that's fine, but.
The city would be responsible for approximately 16,000 the first 2 years, 30,000 about 4. So we would have exposure to 3 years of around 75,000.
Yes, the total cost for the 3 years will be about $200,000.
And they pay 120.
$125,000 will be covered by the grant.
And then the fourth year, we would be responsible for whatever that salary is.
Yes.
What if that person quit after 2 years or something?
And as long as we refill that position.
Okay. Be the same.
We can't do away with the position, we would have to.
Have to fill, okay.
It would be required that we refilled it, and still, we would have to continue out the rest of the grant.
And this person would be a patrol officer and community, or
Well,
not really?
yes and no, we would probably reassign someone else to this position.
That,
because
okay, that's already here,
That's what this grant is for, to pay for,
okay.
but they won't pay for someone we already have, so it would actually be paying for, the new position.
Okay, I understand,
And-
okay.
Someone that's here would cover that.
Do we have a dog?
No,
Okay, so we'd have to get a dog too, right?
Well, it's what I said, we're in the process, if you remember during budget time, that was one of the things
Yeah.
we discussed, and, I think we had that funded.
Okay.
And if all of if everything falls together, then, we'll be able to get that at little to no cost to the city.
So let me ask this, if we pursue this and we get awarded the grant, and then for whatever reason, chips don't fall right, like what you're saying or whatnot, do we have the option to just say no, or are we on the hook and are we committed at that point? I always hate to take away, because this is a pool money in other people, so we want to go in as, yes, we're gonna do it or not, but I'm just saying, if
Well-
the chips fall out, what happens? What's our backup plan?
Having a dog or not having a dog
It's two-
wouldn't necessarily make or break that.
Right.
But, we could still have someone, community policing, crime prevention, without a dog. It fits that, and we're looking at doing that, so, so if that happened and we ended up not getting the dog, September, when we're notified that we are awarded the grant, we could deny it at that time. Only thing that does, my understanding,
Right,
in
blocks you
reading
from
some of this,
future.
is that may kind of knock us out any other, Department of Justice grants for a while.
Yeah.
Because, doing that, there's a lot that goes into this, and, essentially we get awarded it, and than we deny.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
Wasting
saying,
their
is
time.
going in, that's whether, you know, like you said, is whether there's a dog in play or not. You know, if we do go after this and then something doesn't, the chips don't fall, right, you know, what's the fallback? And you kind of answered it, it's like, well, there'll be, we'll still have another head count, they're just not gonna have a dog. They're gonna get something else. But the city would be over a 4-year period, we're talking about 215 to 220 total from a budget perspective. Because that 4th year is the full salary amount, which is gonna be 65 plus, you know, whatever else on top of that, you know, inflation, you know, cost of living, whatever. And then, like you said, 200-ish thousand for 3 years and then.
Do we expect that in the next 3 to 4 years, we'll be trying to add another headcount anyway?
Yes, I believe, you know, I believe it would be, to meet the, you know, I don't know if you guys are kind of familiar with that study that the FBI does every few years, how many policemen per population type thing. We're actually about 2 officers below where they think we should be. Now, does that mean we run out and hire 2 officers? I don't think so, but, you know, so in the next few years, obviously, I think especially before I-49 opens up, you know, we want to be at that point, so.
That's kind of why I'm asking. I know we've got quite a bit of investment going in housing and also some commercial stuff going in. We've got 49. I assume that we're going to be wanting to add a head count in the next few years. And if this gets us kind of moving on that, you said that we have 5 years.
Yes, this grant will pay
So
3 out of 5.
it almost seems like an option to potentially go ahead and start, you know, getting that groundwork laid and getting somebody in here for a lot less than we would hire an officer.
I agree.
If we think we're gonna be doing it anyway, there's, in my mind, it kind of makes sense to go ahead and apply for the grant, pay for part of that. So, but if we think that's 6, 7, 8 years out, then that doesn't really.
Well, you know, and who knows? I mean, it's kind of like the eclipse. Who knows what's going to happen? But, you know, if the growth in I-49 and if it does what everyone says it's going to be, you know, I think we're going to be wanting to hire.
Well, we're seeing growth now anyway. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff going on downtown that I'm really excited about. We've got, we talked to the planning commission meeting, some other things going on in town with some commercial growth. I know we've got several subdivisions that are being added or people are looking at adding. And so, I mean, there's growth happening now, even without 49 being in. So I really think that once we see 49 here, we're obviously going to have increased traffic. Whether the city grows a whole lot or not, we're still going to have the increased traffic. And if we're below that already, then, you know, my thought is that you would probably be asking us for somebody anyway in the next couple of years.
Yeah, my hope would be, you know, if you guys don't know this, we still have times where there's only one officer out on the street. And so, my hope is to
I thought that got corrected.
not shift it.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but.
But they shift on the weekends and then when one's off and.
Okay.
So, majority of the time, yes, there are 2 out, but no, there's still.
There's still gaps in coverage just simply because of that.
I move we approve the grant form. We have a motion, as I understand it, to.
I've still got questions
Is it-
before we move.
Yeah.
So I know you're wanting to get out of here and you don't
No.
want to talk about it.
We
I
just don't want
got
to
questions
you to death.
The other thing that I'm curious about is, do we have equipment, vehicle, everything like that? If we were to hire somebody, do we have that planned and budgeted as well?
Well,
I don't want them walking up and down the street, you know.
Walking the dog.
Walking the dog.
Right, literally.
That's an expensive dog.
so, yes and no. So, as you guys know, we have 2 patrol vehicles that's getting outfitted now. They're moving slowly on one because we're supposed to hear within the next week or so about a grant to put some canine equipment in it. If we get that, we're gonna go ahead and equip this one vehicle with the canine equipment in it. Because the dog, is what I think we already have funded, so we're just trying to get everything else we need. We don't want a dog sitting here without being able to do something with it. So, we wouldn't be, if we got approved for this grant, we wouldn't be adding it until next year. We do have a spare car that we use for, when one of the patrol cars are in the shop, whatever. One of the CID guys have to cover patrol, whatever that is.
So we would be losing our spare though.
Yes, but I think we could regain it by replacing, cars and even though it may not be good enough that we want to be using it every day right now, we could keep one to use here and there.
Firearms, radios, all of that we have.
Radios we would be covered on. We would have to purchase some equipment for them, uniforms, vests, just like hiring another officer. I think that's things that we could work into the.
So the first year we'd have to come up with a little bit to do that, but we wouldn't be trying to do that this year in this budget.
Yeah, I think, no, it would be next year's budget before we looked at that.
I was just curious. I didn't want to say it's only 16 grand. Let's jump it.
No, there would be a
Well,
little
there's a bunch
more
of other
cost to
things.
that, but I don't think there would be.
We're not buying another car in next year's budget just to accommodate this, right?
No, I mean, we might be buying another car next year, but
Not specifically,
but not just for this position.
Right.
Well, I mean, on average, we have to buy, what, 2 cars a year?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, it's to
So,
replace the fleet or flip the fleet.
If the money's granted in September, what's the drop dead date that you have to actually hire somebody?
Well, at least you'd be putting it.
I think,
Right.
Yeah, we think
That's kind of water mass.
and I would have to go back and look and see if there is one,
Okay.
because it says it gives you time for hiring and recruiting and hiring
Okay.
and background and all that.
Sure, at least we
So,
have.
and it will pay for 3 years out of 5, so
So,
I think it has time.
So, my question is, if it's in September, they're not saying you have, October 1, you have to have somebody, okay?
Okay, that's all my questions.
I second.
We have a motion, from Mr. McGee and a second from Mr. Brown to authorize the chief to apply for the grant. Any other discussion? Let's do roll call.
Sandra Kilpatrick,
Yes.
Larry Blasingame,
Yes.
James McGee,
Yes.
Evan Thacker,
Yes.
Damon Brown,
Yes.
Gary Perry.
Yes.
Thank you, chief.
I don't have anything else unless you guys have questions.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks.
Mr. Yardley?
You keep this thing short and sweet.
That's what he always says.
All the money's gone.
Got any questions?
You're gonna have to get farther up on the list, all the money's gone. There you go.
Just a few things. If you received your report, you know that in the report I requested that we select an engineer and a financial advisor for the $6.3 million manganese project that we have in the works for the water treatment plant. This is necessary for us to be able to use part of those funds to pay for engineering fees and for us to use part of those funds to pay for the financial advisor for legal services. So we sent out a request for qualifications. We received statements of qualifications from 2 engineering firms. One was McClellan Engineering, who's already involved in the project. They've done the preliminary work. They're the ones that actually helped us apply for the grant and helped us through that process and did some preliminary engineering costs associated with the project. So the other one that we received qualifications for was Nickel Griffin here in Fort Smith. Used to be Nickel Wagner. So looking at their responses, their qualifications are very similar. They're quite capable, both firms, to do the job. And just in the interest of not starting over with another engineering firm, I would like to request that we select McClellan Engineering to complete that project, since they're already involved in up to speed with what's going on in the project. And I would need council approval for that.
So, is there any questions, to Mark before I ask for a motion or anything? What you're needing approval is to continue with McClellan Engineering on this project.
To select McClellan Engineering as our engineer for that project.
Do you want to make a motion?
I make the motion.
Well, I was just gonna say, from a cost perspective of it, did they outline any of the costs of their services?
No, I wouldn't expect it to be vastly different. They're both local firms with they work on the same skills, they work for the same clients, so I would think it would be very similar. We didn't ask for a price on the project because it's unknown at this point
Right.
what will be involved in it. So until the project is designed, you couldn't get all the details in there to know what it would cost. So
Yeah, I just didn't know.
that would be nearly impossible to do that. It's not like a bid project. It's different. You really have to look at qualifications more than you do pricing on this type of services. So
Any other questions? Have a motion by Mr. Perry to select McClellan Engineers for the installation of the pressure filters. Do we have a second? I'll second. Mr. McGee, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
and then secondly, you know that we use Friday Eldridge Clark for most of our financial counsel, legal counsel for finances, and so we sent out a request for qualifications for those services, and we received 3 back. One was Friday Eldridge Clark, one was Mitchell Williams out of Little Rock, and the other was Kudrock out of Little Rock. So once again, they're all very qualified, all could accomplish this for us. The only benefit I see to using Friday is the relationship that we already have with them, and that they know how we operate. And I've worked with Mitchell Williams on other projects, but it was related to environmental issues. It wasn't for financial services. So I don't have any experience with that area of their business or Coop Rock, either one. So, but we do know Friday Eldridge Clark. And, so anyway, with them having equal qualifications, I see the benefit of using one that we know. So that's my recommendation. I'll take it. Whatever y'all.
Any of y'all have any questions or comments? Obviously, and I know Sean speaks to it, that they're all very, very, very qualified. And of course, Friday firm has helped us on these bond issues and done other work for us. But would somebody make a motion to select unless there is some other discussion, to select the Friday firm to service this project?
So
Have a motion by Evan, second. All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
thank you. The only other thing I really have to say is that we're gonna start tomorrow evening flushing water mains on the north side of Interstate 40. So if anybody calls you and says, I don't have pressure, or my water's discolored, that's what's going on. So,
Tell them, call Mark.
yeah. And that's all I have for y'all tonight. If y'all have any questions,
Have any questions for Mark?
You said that the Cannery Bridge, or the Canner Bridge, did they give you a firm date when it closes down? I know they started taking off signs.
They have not given a firm date on that. They said a couple of months, but they're gonna close one lane initially.
Okay.
And
You know, I've been to those locations where they have a traffic light at low directions.
Yeah.
And the traffic light controls the flow. That's what it's gonna be like for a couple of months. So they think they can work with just one lane closed for a while and then.
It's pretty much how you're gonna take that bridge anyway, right?
That's what it takes, right?
Yeah.
Except it'll be safe, right?
Let me ask another intelligent question that I do with you often. What happens to the dirt that they're, what are they gonna do with the dirt that they get rid of there?
I,
I'm kidding.
we've
Put it
talked-
on your property. Fuck them.
No, Ron Mosley, that's doing the project, said that they would not have very much dirt
Okay,
finished, and, if they do, we have a spot.
oh, okay. Answer my question.
Well, it'll be mostly bringing in
Yeah.
fill
Yeah.
because they're widening those banks, so it's not much being removed.
Because
It's gonna be
I was
more being
informed
added.
today, there was
Yeah.
a gentleman down with a pickup truck starting the excavation. I think they were just hauling it off.
I don't know.
Okay, any other questions for Mark?
All right, thank you.
Thank you all. Cody, I didn't skip you at all. I will never overlook you again. It's taken a year almost, but I can do it.
I have a decent amount, but I'll try to be thorough, like you said. 21 permits issued in the month of March, total revenue of 3,073 in revenue. Sonic's getting a small remodel. I actually talked to the owner today at our chamber chew. He said it's actually gonna close them down for about 5 weeks. So it should be a pretty good remodel then. And also with the talks with them, so I guess he owns some of the other ones here in the Portsmouth area. He said ours is the top in sales in this area. Pretty interesting stuff. The RV park is open. I wouldn't say it's really complete, but it is open. We're still doing landscape, finishing the pool and whatnot. If you guys have a chance to go check it out, definitely recommend. The food truck park, the depot is now open. 2 food trucks there as of now, the taco station and K Hibachi. Very, very good food, definitely recommend if you guys are in the area, want to check it out. I believe they're open right now until 8:30, so maybe we can. But we held on April 4th, we held a ribbon cutting for all the coffee. It was pretty well attended, and that's where I got some of that food from. But it's a big thank you to the Barkers and the Gans for their investment in our downtown. And they've been great to work with, so. Catfish Hole looking to open up in May, and they're also looking to add beer and wine as options for customers, nothing more though. Main Street, Arkansas visited with our hometown Alma group and some downtown property owners. They presented some concept designs for about 5 of the buildings, I believe. I can send those on to y'all if you're interested, but we also posted them on our hometown Alma Facebook page. So those look really good. I know some of the property owners, they said that's pretty much what they envisioned for that. So we're excited to help get them moving forward. RDOT released their grant winners for the EV chargers. Cracker Barrel is awarded almost $500,000. That's that grant that came out last year that I was like, let's just push it to the businesses, and no municipalities won any money anyway, so it was all businesses. So I'm glad Cracker Barrel bought it. Whether it was them or Tesla, because it will be the Tesla chargers going in. We're excited. We haven't seen any plans.
After all the I love about EVs,
Yeah.
the Eclipse, it's great to see something like that.
Yeah, the Van Buren Casey's, they had about 40 cars waiting in line after the Eclipse.
40 cars.
I drove by there, yeah, it was in my, I got a Tesla. It shows you what the lead time is. It was almost 2 hours to wait for a charger.
I'd say that's a pretty good revenue opportunity if you're just sitting there to go inside and get some food and drink. Trail counters picked up. I can send that data out to y'all as well. We had a high on March 23rd of 70 counts, and that's just that portion of the trail as well. So spring break week was almost at 300 visitors for the trail. And then the second highest was actually the day before the eclipse. And it was around 50s or 60s or so. I don't know that number off the top of my head. But right now we're averaging more trail users than we did last year, but this is also only about a month's worth of data. So 4 continue in May when the weather kind of clears up. I know it's been kind of hit or miss lately, especially with potential storms tonight. And that's pretty much it, except with the planning commission, we met with the ADU, solar, and storage units. We'll probably be moving forward on the ADUs next month, so look for that on the agenda. We're basically gonna kind of rip from Rogers on their zoning, and it's pretty short, and sweet, and simple, and that's what the planning commission likes. So once I get that all cleaned up, it'll be forwarded on to y'all for approval. So, other than that, any questions?
Any questions for Cody? You did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Cody.
Here comes a positive finance report.
More positive than that.
I guarantee you. it is.
I just appreciate that you never ask us for money.
That's
She hasn't talked yet.
So we got 2023 all closed out, put away, tucked away, ready for audit, and closed out again, code in 2024 in, so it feels good. 2024 is still on the top of that. Today, I completed March bank recons, so we are all up to date on those. Those spreadsheets you have in your reports are up to date.
right.
So that was really, really good. I was so happy with all of the accounts, all of those you have reports on an Encode, as well as those spreadsheet ones. I think it's 26, 27 accounts. Total, I made a $20 adjustment that I can apply to in all of those accounts for this month. So it's definitely getting straightened out. Well, that was total adjustment. One, I knew exactly where it went, but it was a 25 cent that's happened every 11 acres. And I put that straightened out. And it was just $19.47 in the general fund. I could not find where it went, and you just need to make a miscellaneous adjustment and swallow it. Go on. So, but it's definitely cleaning up, and through the process, I'm learning, better procedures for putting things in place. Some of them I can refer back to the way Sean and Kim done it, and well, that made sense. I had already referred back to a lot of those procedures anyway, especially with tax turnbacks and things like that, the way we were doing them, not separating all the records like they did, because that drove me crazy. Keep them all together in one folder, and Audit was happy with that too. She was like, oh, that's good. Even though it's receivables and payables, just put those all together in one folder, marked turnbacks for each quarter, and then they're easily findable that way. But learning a ton still in Encode, and there's still a lot to learn, but it's doing good. I apologize up front that I did not get ARPA and those tax turnback monies from the reserves crunched. We have, payroll moving has been quite a feat, and I was here until 10 o'clock last night, 10:30. Because there's just some differences. They needed to provide me a journal entry report that we could upload to Encode so that it touches our budget the way it should. They never could get that, so finally at 4:30, Encode said you just need to process payroll on your side. And then of course I had the spreadsheets show all those differences from what they processed. When they uploaded our employees to their system, they let them fall under just the new 2020 and later W-4s, which is a total different tax bracket than previous to 2020. So everyone that was previous 2020 or in 2020, their tax deductions changed by $50 to $70. It was a lot. So, but today they were able to correct that to get anyone. The only fix was for them to correct it and move them back to a pre-2020 W-4 or require the employees to fill out a new W-4 to adhere to the law. So they did get it fixed. So prayerfully, the next one will be a lot smoother. And we worked out a system with Encode. I just let them know just before coming in here that, hey, because they were working feverishly on trying to get that report done. And I said, drop it, leave it, we've got a fix, we can run it through regular open item process because they present us with a regular invoice. And we had asked on the front end for them to separate those by department. So we can easily put all of those just running through like a regular invoice. And goes if yes, that will work and maintain your budget. We just won't have payroll history in our system anymore. But we can get every report we need from my HR. So the next thing, I was telling Mayor earlier, is I will kind of watch that and see if we can mark the cost of that payroll module, because that carries quite a bit of cost. So, if we can drop part of the cost of that, because we're not utilizing all of it.
We won't be utilizing that for any city employees anymore. It'll all be with,
We'll be utilizing all the line items that have to do with payroll, but we won't be using, we won't be using the payroll module for processing anything.
I think when we first talked about that, I don't think we talked about what we would potentially save with that module, right?
Yeah.
So that's-
And I don't know yet, I wanna watch it for about 3 months and see.
I would say we will run parallel for.
Yeah. And I don't know, how much of it, because Encode is kind of antiquated, so sometimes if you drop something, you lose the history of it. So I know we'll have to keep it, at least a history, an accessible part of it in there for the history in it, but same with like, we've got drainage accounts and all that stuff in there. I can move them to inactive, but they still show up on my every month thing, because we have to leave them there for history report, so. And I don't know how much of that what the cost difference that'll be, but we'll find out and we'll see if it's something we can make sure on that as well, yeah.
Rhonda, employees bi-weekly,
Bi-weekly.
okay,
Yeah, we're 26 pay period.
okay.
And so, I have, I had it on there that I completed January, February. I finished March today, so we are completely up to date. Have all of our invoices and deposits done. Those are a couple of things that we got rolled over on the last audit was not timely deposits. Because their direction is to have something deposited within 3 days of receipt. So we're trying to do that. We do once a week, and that's in our flow of transactions that's on file with audit, is to do once a week because of the size we are. So Peggy's still been helping me on that. Every Tuesday she processes those deposits and everything, and I have her kind of organize my payables sometimes before I get to them. That those parts she gets a little flustered with details and such. We don't have her do the process yet because we don't have time to correct that. So, tomorrow I'll be going to clerks training in Conway. So I'll be up there all day. I had hoped to have someone going. I think there's like 50 clerks going to be up there, so that'll be a good training. The ones we went to, a couple, not last fall, but fall before. Get that many together, and someone has a solution for just about any.
So who sponsors that, Arkansas Municipal League or who's sponsoring
Clerks
that?
Association.
Clerks Association.
Yeah, the Municipal League Clerks Association. Yeah. Not the
We've
international
never
clerks.
belonged, but it only costs $25 and she gets a ton of information from them.
It helps to have those things. Ms. Marte, our new hire, should be here Monday. She actually came in yesterday and brought her paperwork, and I was in a meeting with my HR was here going over their dashboard with me. And she just popped right in there and sat down and just went through it and really interacted it with the training as well and learned everything, asked questions. So when she left, she said she's super excited to come on board, excited to work with the puzzle of accounting. So I told her it's kind of like two puzzles. You got the puzzle of municipality and the puzzle of accounting, and you got to make them work together. So but she's excited, and I think she'll do a good job. Fingers crossed, and a lot of prayers up because I'm tired of hiring me. So, They did process, I talked about that, they processed their first payroll yesterday, everybody got paid. There was a couple of hiccups, they left a couple out, they left another portion out, so the time we got said and done, we had 4 payrolls in there that I had to pull reports on and work over last night, but, I think they, today, just back and forth with department heads, with my HR, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've just been, Jen was probably thinking my email is going crazy or something, but I think they've got approval all worked out. I think the next payroll will go, even smoother. Very impressed with the dashboard. Gosh, you can pull about anything you need from there. Not always in the format you need it. My AGRS report that I was working on a little bit ago, I've got to pull a report from them and then do it in the format AGRS requires, but it's a quick type in of just the information from 740, so that's not too bad. And then I do have it on our agenda, of course, to get those AGRS numbers crunched and get those, all that stuff figured out. The bond reserve, maybe you see the bond spreadsheet for you guys and those things. Any questions?
Any questions of Rhonda, or any comments, or any discussion of any of the financials that are attached or anything?
I always have questions. No,
Okay.
no, great job, thank you. Overall, the only question I do have is, looking at the revenue and everything for March up to date, we're trending about 20%, if you look at just percentage budget, we're about 20% of the revenue there, 26% on the expenditures, but we're 229,000 light.
We didn't get any tax money in January.
Correct.
Or February.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, March was our first disbursement
yeah.
for that tax. Yeah. And then, of course, with it coming in, it has to go back out to the other departments.
So, yeah, Mayor and everyone, probably in a couple of months, we'll have a study session just to see
I'm
where we're
gonna
trending
recommend,
it.
at the end, I'm gonna recommend we do it next month.
Thank you.
If we,
Yeah, I didn't know where we're trending at now.
Yeah. any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Why don't you go home early tonight, y'all? Take Daniel out to eat. I just
Food
want,
trucks are still there for another 30 minutes.
He's
or
been
something
off,
like
he's been off for 5 weeks.
I know.
And I probably have gained 20 pounds because he's been coming and taking me to lunch.
I'll mention just a couple things about the parks and then a couple of remarks, but all the water's in the pools, remodeled the snack shack internally. Adam Daly came up with this idea, it's pretty clever, where you used to come in and pay your tickets, he's opened that up and he can sell food outside for people that just go to the park out there if they want something to eat, so got that done. So we spent a lot of money, we had to buy a couple of new pumps, we've ordered the chemicals, sandblasted some, painting, a lot of maintenance. Fortunately, the A&P Commission helped us out significantly on that. We've added a new shade area and possibly going to add another shade area back in the back of the pool. There's been complaints, and we get complaints there's not enough sun, we get complaints there's not enough shade, and so we're trying to get where the small children are to put more shade, and I think that'll work well. All 20 plus lifeguards have now been certified. Adam Daly is now certified to do the pool chemicals and all of that, so the person that we paid about $8,000 to last year, we will not have that expense. We're gonna pay Adam, but he is certified to do that. We meet Monday, Tracy with Wapatiti and I meet next Monday morning at 9 o'clock to continue working on the Costello Park project. It's just getting started. We've had a couple of meetings just to discuss it. And that really, Cody mentioned about the trail counters and all, and we've had to take out a couple of trees that died up close to the restrooms up there, but There's really not much else. Most everything right now has been about the aquatic park. I'd like to mention a couple of things in the mayor's report, though, or I'll be glad to ask any questions about the parks too. I apologize. And hopefully we'll get something really started positive and soon on Costello Park. Preliminary work began on updating our handbook. We've asked all the department heads to start making suggestions. Within about 10 days, we're going to all assemble. We're going to make a preliminary handbook. We're going to let the attorney make sure it's legal, and then we'll bring it in for you guys for discussion and approval. And I hope to have it in here in June is the goal. Planning on starting the salary schedule review in late July. The senior citizens building has been completed. It's up and running. And we need to I have given a special thanks to Spartan Construction, Dustin Hughes and Jason Parker. They ran out of money. The grant didn't cover all of the flooring. They came in and I called Dustin and I said, you do a lot of free things, I know, and he's a great guy. Jason Parker came down and they finished the floor in kind, and we really, and I was going to report on the library. We got the awnings in place, we got the automatic door, and we do need the lettering, and that's just a hard thing to get done. Poor old Rick does it all, and he has to do it in between all of his other jobs, and he's fishing on Saturday and Sunday. He can't do it. What the next thing I was going to mention is interesting that Larry said this. Next month, our board meeting is on the 16th. And if possible, and I'll get an email out to everybody to check your calendars, I would love to have a meeting on the 14th to discuss finances. Predominantly, the two prominent things, although there'll be other, is, okay, this is our ARPA money, this is how much we have, this is where it's designated or whatever. And secondly, we need to start making provision or plans for the bonds that paid off, the reserve money that was returned back to us. We need to give you an exact dollar of what that is. And then we need to determine what we're going to do with the money. And I know there'll be several people asking for it, but we need to, this is kind of.
Planning commission meeting.
Almost everybody back there except for people was like.
You're telling me planning commission meeting.
Planning commission meeting May 14th, and since we moved it to evening.
Let me ask, and this is not fair, but is a Monday or a Wednesday? I'm trying to do it the week that we have the board meeting, because Damon will be in town, to be honest with you.
Well,
And you won't be that one?
Alex graduating.
Oh, I understand.
Do you have a lot of things from the planning side for next month?
The ADUs, for sure. Yeah, we're gonna have to post that in the newspaper.
I will get something out. We've got, we really need to have one in next month. We need to, for my peace of mind, get this put to bed. But I will get an email out to you tomorrow, Monday, giving you some dates and seeing what works best for everybody.
I can do Monday, Tuesday, just can't.
Okay. Okay. But anyway, because that's something we need to do. I mean, it needs to be done. And any other discussion about finances, like it's on the street or whatever, we discuss. But I'd like to have it just nothing but that part of it to sit out and talk about. Any other questions or any comments or anything from anyone, any suggestions or? It's quiet. That's it.
I'm over adjourned.
Got a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I appreciate y'all very much. I appreciate all you gentlemen, but I appreciate Sandra more because she made $6 million.
Hey, she did. She's a $6 million girl.
$6 million woman. She took that course and we got the $6 million to give her. I'll be forever in her debt.
Hey, Mark, you like Sandra? Oh.
Mark better bought you lunch or something for that. He said no.
Hey, I didn't get anything for it either.
I'm saving yours for the tree commission. Name of the city